please tell the audience about how you empower people as an author, a speaker, and a woman of God in general?
Sure. Well, first of all, I believe our voices matter.
Okay. Yeah.
And, having these candid conversations, I believe brings awareness to all sorts of issues, and could, someone who is tuning in might resonate with that or see similarities. And if they can see that someone has gone through some dark times,
Right.
but can rise above, then that gives them hope to, and inspires them to also rise above. And, my first book, which is the 2020 Best Books Award winning spiritual fiction, God Came to My Garage Sale.
Wow.
That was written because, I had some miracle experiences and I was just compelled to write about them. And, really it was like a questioning atheist background person having some of these experiences and wondering, is there a God? We ask these questions all the time. There are some people that have blind faith, but I'm someone without that foundation. So I needed proof and evidence. And I was during a very dark time in my life where I could have been sad or angry. I just wasn't. I was filled with love and gratitude. And then these miracles came my way. So I was compelled to write about that in that spiritual fiction. But then I went on, since I've moved to the Caribbean, to write a 5-book series called True Deceit, False Love. And I think that some of the tools that I use in this book series can be a tangible way for people to heal, or to at least work towards understanding some of the dynamics of this family trauma.
Oh, my word. Yes. And you're right. There are dynamics, when we look at even our patterns of behavior as the persons that came into the relationship and that were abused, like what happened, what went on down our line emotionally, mentally, spiritually, etc., that led us to hook up with someone like that. You know what I'm saying?
Right, definitely. So we are targets of abuse because we also probably were abused as kids in different ways, whether it was neglect, whether it was gaslighting, or whether we witnessed abuse, like, a father abusing a mother, or the mother abusing the father. If that's something we experienced, my parents also divorced, and that was, that was also something because of their experience. I never wanted to get divorced because of, so I was kind of conditioning myself to stay in this. Probably that's why I stayed almost 3 decades. But yeah, we do need to look back at the intergenerational component of it all.
Oh, my word. You're right. Because that's so important and part of, I would say the healing process within itself, isn't it?
Yes.
To go back and look, and you can see it like, oh, okay, now I see how this came out, sometimes it's like 6 or 7 generations back as far as how, when something started in your family line, and the systems that were set up and in place that allowed us to keep going with it. And you know what I'm saying? And no one breaking that pattern.
Right. And I feel that I'm breaking a pattern.
You are.
I really do. I feel that, even though it is the abuser that, brought on all the real devastation and all that, doing the inner work, you do see some parts of, what made you who you are, and accepting of this. And, yes, it's very hard midlife. Like I'm 60 years old and I finally am putting my foot down and breaking a pattern and honoring my late mother by doing so.
Yeah.
Because as a kid, I knew some of the challenges she went through, but I didn't really know the extent of it. And now that I have the research and the knowledge, and I'm just the light bulb moments, it's making more sense to me. So I am honoring her also by just saying enough is enough. And, and like I said previously, the boundaries aren't because you're mad at anyone or angry, or you don't think you're better than other people. That's not the case. The boundaries are really to honor myself and to say, listen, I don't want to have all this conflict. I don't want to be put down. I don't want to be discounted.
Right.
I don't want to be smeared. And it's just not part of who I am or where I want to go. So,
Yes.
taking care of yourself is very important.
It is, isn't it? Yeah. Like you said, taking care of yourself, doing the self-work, and like you said, putting those boundaries in place, which lets people know more of, it expands there rather than people, a lot of times we want to look at boundaries as restrictive, but boundaries actually expand people's knowledge of our identity. You know what I'm saying?
Right. And actually it could have another consequence, that maybe the people we have put up boundaries might then go on their own journey of self-reflection to think about, why would this person want to put up a boundary with me?
Yes.
I'm perfect and I'm this and I'm that, when really they might, we might indirectly be helping them on their journey.
Yes. And there's a law, I can't remember what the name of it is, but there's a law to basically see either once you start growing as an individual, either people are going to grow with you or they're going to leave.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? No matter what relationship we have. So I like to think of it as either they're going to grow or they're going to go.
Yeah.
One of the two.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And like you said, maybe they'll eventually, have some type of come to Jesus moment and say, like you said, some type of reflection, especially if it's a pattern where they notice where it keeps happening to them.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? What is the common denominator?
Right. But I know it's not my role to teach anyone any kind of lesson.
Not at all.
Nor do I want to, and who am I to, impose my own beliefs and thoughts on anyone else? I don't do that. I've got to just look at myself and just stay true to my values and look and take care of myself, not put myself, especially after everything that I have gone through and everything that I have learned.
Oh, yes.
I'm into moving forward.
That's me too. Like you said, not trying to figure out, well, let me, I've got to get you to believe this. I got to get you to see it the way that I see it. That's time and energy. Yes. Like you said, just moving forward. What do you feel holds most people back from making progress when it comes to healing? And then do you think it's the same thing for their calling as well? Like as far as holding them back?
Well, I think that they're two different things, but I can see similarities. I think fear is big. I think in the beginning, when you realize, who and what you're dealing with, there's a certain amount of fear. And, we even see that in the global, picture right now, that fear is what, people that want to control other people, they try to instill fear. And, you get caught up in that because, you are in fight or flight, or you are in survival mode. I have to say that, it doesn't matter what my abuser or any of the flying monkeys or toxic people do. I am no longer living in fear. I have come into my own, but I think fear holds people back. Keeps them from leaving situations, but it also keeps them from moving on and achieving their full potential and self-actualizing, because, maybe for years they've been made to believe that they're not worthy, or they've been gaslit to believe that they don't have the skills, or that they are not capable, when really that is so far from the truth. But that is something that what we've been made to believe. Don't try this because you'll fail. And there could be a lot of experiences people have had in school or in other relationships that have contributed to this kind of narrative. But I think fear is a big part of it.
Okay. Yep. I see exactly what you mean. Like you said, that fear. And it's sad because fear is what will, especially like you said, for anything, we got that fear there. And then when you think about a toxic relationship, you fear, okay, so what is this going to look like when I come out? What is it going to look like for my kids? Will I be broke? will I this? And you have this long list. And then the other thing that you don't realize too is that like when you balance it out and you start thinking about the pain of even healing and going through all of that, either way it goes, you can't escape pain, because when you get ready to have your last breath here on earth, and then, part of that ending process, you got the pain of, wow, I was in this for 50 years and this was my whole life. You're going to have that pain, or you're going to have the pain of getting to the other side once you get out of it. Either way it goes, it's going to be pain. You understand what I'm saying?
Most definitely. And I think also, it's a big decision to leave, to get divorced. And so many people stay in it for the children. And I think that maybe I did the same thing. I didn't want to hurt my two beautiful children.
Right.
But now that I'm away from this, there's going to be pain either way. And, as a mother, a loving, normal range, fun, caring mother, I still want to role model that you can have challenges in your life, but you also can have choices to, get yourself into a safe, happier situation.
Right.
Just because, you were in this doesn't mean that you should stay in it forever, no matter how you were treated or how bad it is.
Right.
That is actually role modeling in a negative way.
That is so true. Yeah. Being fearful of, like you said, my kids not having the image of having an ideal family, but they're still witnessing abuse every day. So that's normalized for them.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yep.
So I understand exactly what you're saying. Oh my goodness. So can you tell the audience rather, how they can find your books?
Oh, sure. My books are all on Amazon. And Barnes and Noble, and then my publisher is Balboa Press, which is a division of Hay House. And actually, I've done book signings across the nation, and my books are in, wherever fine books are sold. So if they don't have it on the shelf, they can order it.
They can always order.
And it's great to support your local bookstores too, not just the big chains.
Right.
And let them order the books. And actually, if money is tight for people, which it is for a lot of people, the books can all be, e-versions for $3.99. Yes. So they are accessible. And even the paperback books are not that expensive either. I'm a hard copy girl. I like to have an actual physical book to hold and have a nice cup of tea and, just relax and read. But yeah, you can find me on Amazon, Barnes and Noble, or Balboa Press Hay House.
Okay. All righty. So now we're ready for the rapid fire questions. What is your favorite kitchen gadget?
Oh, this is random. Okay. I would say my favorite gadget is my Vitamix, which is a blender. It's a fancy blender.
Yes.
Because I live in the Caribbean. We have our own pineapples, our own mango trees. Ooh. We grow our own organic vegetables, and we have a hydroponics farm. So pretty much every day I make myself a very healthy smoothie with the local ingredients here. So I would say my favorite gadget would be my Vitamix blender.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I remember one time I was in Sam's Club and they made tortilla soup.
Yeah.
With that blender, you know how they do the crowd things, and they have the table set up. And I taste them, I was like, oh my goodness, it was so good.
And actually with the Vitamix, I mean, this is kind of getting way off topic here with the gadgets, but the Vitamix actually heats up the soup as well if you blend it.
Really?
And so I'm a big soup lover as well. So I'm constantly making fresh vegetable soup from vegetables I get at the farmer's market or that we just grow ourselves.
And that's nice.
So that's a great gadget.
Okay.
Great gadget. Yeah.
Wow. 5 songs on your playlist.
Okay, 5 songs on my playlist. Okay, I've always been drawn to James Taylor and Livingston Taylor, but I would say James Taylor's Secret of Life. Because in the lyrics, the secret of life is enjoying the passage of time. Man. So it's not all about the end goal. It's about
the journey.
a journey. And, you know, another song number 2, I'm always uplifted when I hear that song, I Can Only Imagine.
Oh, isn't that nice?
Oh gosh, it's so beautiful.
Oh my
And
goodness.
there are so many different artists that play it. I love John Tesh's version that's at the Red Rocks in
John
Portland.
Tesh. Okay. I'm gonna have to look up that version.
Oh my gosh, it's a live concert. It was just
Okay.
beautiful. And it also incorporated a multi-sensory approach where someone is drawing, I believe, a face of Jesus. And while this is happening. So that
Really?
song just gives me goosebumps all the time. So I Can Only Imagine. Gosh, I love like anything Amy Grant or anything Foxes and Fossils. You know, so there's so many songs, it's hard to name.
Many.
My 4th song would be the Star Spangled Banner, because I hope and pray that goodness will overshadow the negativity in our beautiful United States of America.
Amen.
So so something patriotic. And then my 5th song, oh my gosh, I would say that beautiful song. It's a very old one. It's an oldie but a goodie called The Water is Wide. And that is a song that I used to sing to my children almost every night, a cappella.
Really?
And that song has a lot of meaning for me, but it also connects me to my children.
Yes. And it helps you it probably brings you comfort.
Right. Yes. And remember the beautiful times. That
yes. Amen. Amen. Yes. What about 3 books that you feel you can't live without?
Well, I've always loved Gift from the Sea by Anne Moreau Lindbergh.
Okay, I can look that one up.
Yeah, now she was married to Charles Lindbergh, who was very famous for crossing the ocean. Right. You know, they also had a child kidnapped and murdered, and she had to deal with the loss of a child. And I feel that, you know, for the last 5 years, I've had to deal with grieving the loss of my child. So I resonate with her, but the Gift from the Sea, and I have probably 10 copies of this very small book, but she is drawn to the ocean. And so she's someone who had a lot and was in the public eye, but she reflected a lot on just the beauty of nature and the plight of people on earth. And so each chapter is a different shell. It's a name of a shell. And here I am, you know, right by the ocean. Right. And, you know, it's kind of come full circle. So Gift from the Sea is I would say my favorite book.
Okay. I'll have to look that up.
Yeah. Yeah. I'll mail you a copy. Okay. Yeah.
Thank you.
Along with my spiritual fiction. I will mail that. Okay. The second book I would say is a children's book. Okay. Entitled Love You to the Moon and Back.
Oh, is that such a cute story, isn't it?
And it's a cute story that I read to my children, but it wasn't until adulthood that took on a different meaning. I actually have a tattoo with a moon with my children's initials and saying of I love you to the moon and back. Means a lot to me. Oh, yes. And then I would say my third book, well, hands down, it's the Bible. Yes. It would be the Bible. And that is a book that so many of us don't take the time to read. And, you know, we think it's overwhelming and we don't know where to start, but, you know, just open it up. Just open it up and you will gain a lot of wisdom. So those are my three books. Oh my word. Yes. So what do you think the answers to those 3 questions say about you as far as your favorite gadget, those 5 songs, and those 3 books? What does it say about Marni Hill Foderaro? Well, I believe in nourishing our bodies. There's the Vitamix connection.
Yes.
And nourishing our hearts
Mm-hmm.
and nourishing our soul.
Ah, yes, yes. I love it. And for the last question, what are some parting words of wisdom that you want to leave with our audience?
Well, first of all, I'd like to say you found a great podcast. So if you're tuning in here to Katina, you found a great place to get some wisdom. I would say, yes, of course, and I mean that.
Thank you.
I would say to your audience that, we all have challenges. Some of you might have resonated with some of my challenges, and other people have other challenges, whether it's a health scare or, a work situation, or whether it's money, whether you don't know where you're going to even sleep tonight.
Right.
Whatever your challenges, if you handle your challenges with love and compassion, throw in a little bit of research and inner work, then you will really be able to rise above some of these challenges and live a blessed life with happiness, safety, and peace. Just don't give up the hope. Things can get better. That, just because you're in the darkness right now doesn't mean you'll always be in the darkness, because it's all a journey and everything is always changing. And you can take charge of your own life.
Isn't that the truth? Oh my word.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. A lot of times we, would think, oh, this situation is so hopeless. And, women, we don't realize as women, people in general, and I'm just thinking like in particular with women, the power is already residing within inside of you. You know what I mean?
Most definitely. I agree.
And when we don't make a decision, that is also making a decision.
Right.
Oh,
well, wonderful words of wisdom. And if anyone wants to check me out or check any of the books out, I do have a happenings section on my website that I keep up to date with book signings and events and podcasts, and actually I post a lot of wisdom from other people, other people's videos and resources and that type of thing. My website is www.godcametomygarage.com.
I love it.
Okay, so my website is the name of my spiritual fiction, godcametomygarage.com.
I love it.
So check it out. Check it out. You might find something will resonate with you.
I want to just thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you
so much for being a guest on the show. This has been such a blessed interview, and you have just such a kindred spirit. You know how you can tell,
Yeah, there is a kindred spirit. And, you find as you go on the journey that when you make some choices to let some negative people or situations out of your life, you can make room for, positive, like-minded people.
Yeah.
And so and then you can connect with them very quickly because you're on the same page. You understand each other's plight.
Isn't that the truth? Like you said, positive. And once we start, that self-work, oh my word, and being able to connect and sing like, no, this is not going to work for me. This is not going to work for me. I'm no longer there. This is not, congruent with, like you said, my integrity and the values that I have. And it allows you to move forward.
Yeah.
And doing that self-work actually also helps us even when it comes to thinking about, okay, do I want to enter another friendship, another romantic relationship? You would rather wait and have whatever it is God has for you than to rush.
Right. There's definitely divine intervention that happens, when you're ready for it.
Oh my word. Yes. Thank you so much.